Welcome to the Strategies of Football, presented by Local Football Flavor. In this episode, we're going to show the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins in Week 1. And in this show, we're going to cover a couple of plays in detail drawn out, but it's also kind of give the flow of the game so you can see some of the coaching decisions and the tendencies that happened. Obviously, we will not be covering every single play, but kind of the key ones that show the storylines of this game. And one of the storylines that comes across with New England in their Week 1 presentation is that their three best drives by far were the ones that were scripted. The two first ones of the first half and the first one of the second half. By far, when they had scripted plays that they were able to pre-think when they came out, it worked much better. So we're actually going to start with the very first play from scrimmage for New England. It's just a basic route. Just a basic 10-yard out. Nothing really crazy or complicated to it. But the reason I'm showing this play is twofold. First is that New England runs it very well. And second, it's kind of the prerequisite of being an NFL quarterback, hitting a 10-yard out. And one of the themes we're going to show on the Miami side is that Tua doesn't have the prerequisite tools to be good in this league. So as we move forward, I want to show this play here because early in the game, New England does very good with zone blocking schemes. And this is one of the best illustrations of zone blocking that you're really going to be able to find. So we go to the very first step here. Every single one of them on cue has taken that little cut to the left. And in zone blocking, you cut to the left, and then anyone coming in your area, you take them out. Take them out. Center's already here. 71's going. He knows he's coming here. You're just starting to shift it downfield. And it's Harris's job as a running back to just see where the natural hole is going to open. So his pre-snap read is he looks at which gaps in the line of scrimmage are not covered. That's what you should do as a running back in a zone play. So prior to the snap, Harris makes the read of right here and right here, we have no defensive player. So that's probably going to be my logical starting point. Let's just see what happens. Now it's zoned to the left, and we're just going to let the play progress here. And you see 71 does a great job of just keeping position. You know, the whole goal of the offensive lineman is you want your back, really as any blocker, you want your back to be to the running back. And as long as your back is to him, you are successfully at the right angle for your block. And across the board, this is just beautifully run. And this is one of the best pushes New England has the entire game on Miami. As later they figure this out. Again, this is the second play, trying to figure out what they do. And he just cuts right up the middle. Boom. Huge yard gain. Something that is very well run. One of the best examples of an inside zone that you'll see. This is a really important play to the New England game plan in this particular game. They run it about 5 or 6 times. It's a basic toss play where we get tossed to the right. Tight end that's off your screen right now does a crackback block right here. 81 will pull the right tackle, or the tackle will pull regardless of direction. And then your backside players are essentially just running downfield, cutting off angles. So the problem isn't per se the way it's drawn up. Doing the crackback block on the end right here is actually very effective. The problem is actually I'm not totally sure that their tackles are athletic enough to make this play consistently. Because as we see the play progress, again, the good crackback block there, which really is the key of the play. If you lose penetration right here, the play's over. So Miami can defeat this play if their end can penetrate, gets in the way of the pullers. But in this case, in fact, actually most cases of this game, New England does a very good job of that crackback block preventing it. But where the issue comes is their two pullers. So we look downfield right now. We have 3 guys ahead of the ball carrier. We have the wide receiver who's on the corner he started. We have the tight end who's pulled out. That's him right here. And the tackle who's pulled out. We then have 2 Miami players right here that ultimately should be the targets of the pulling blockers. And the way that I read it and the way that I would draw it, it would be these two right here and then these two right there. That would be the responsibilities. That's seldom what happens on this play, however. Majority of the time they run it, he ends up creating a double team block on a corner, and the tackle tries to run out here on the deep man. The problem with this, as we'll see in this play here too, no one is covering this safety, who's the strong side safety and very good at making plays. He comes right through this lane basically every time, and whenever the running back breaks the tackle, the play goes for 8-10 yards. Whenever the running back doesn't break the tackle, it's a loss of 3. So why would you make a play that's dependent upon breaking a tackle in the backfield is beyond me, but it's what the New England coaching staff does throughout this game. So to show this in live time, how it goes in this particular play, comes right through and boom. Misses the tackle, but ultimately at the end of the day goes through and makes some things happen. And then this is the play that has to be illustrated. You just had New England running on you, and Miami's like, all right, we're not letting this happen anymore. We're going to bring a little bit of pressure. And they really hadn't done too many blitzes to this point in the first drive. But as the end result, they end up going to a man shell one where this guy goes top center and then just coverage across the board and the rest of them come. Jones sees this happening as being a shell one defense. Pause right here to be able to show that. You have your safety over the top covering all deep area. You have one-on-one coverage here, 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 here. So the routes he knows that his team is running is perfect against a cover one. It's a straight vertical and a straight vertical. And at that point, Jones knows I should be throwing to one of the two deep players when it's cover one. He just makes up his mind. He ultimately ends up choosing down here. Now, note, Miami could have crushed him. We have an unblocked player, and Jones just gets the ball out in time. This was a delayed blitz. Had it been a straight blitz from the beginning, Jones probably gets sacked on this play. It's just an unfortunate result here that happens because Jones makes the right call, but the defender just swats it out. That's just a good play by the defender, and then the safety's quick enough to come over and pick it up over the top. But that was the first drive in New England, and like I said, their scripted plays were the best part of this game early. One of the other themes of this game is that Tua is not a very strong-armed or accurate quarterback. He can do very well if his first read is open, give him the ball, which is why Miami went out and got Tyreek Hill. He gives the ball to Tyreek Hill a lot. Tyreek Hill can make awesome things happen, and as long as Tyreek's at 100%, this offense has a chance. But the team that sits down and plays man coverage against Tyreek Hill and takes Tua's first read against him will blow Miami out because this offense is not functional because as soon as something goes wrong for Tua, he does not recover. This is the very first play after the touchdown or after the interception, and it should be a touchdown. We get a little bit of a high snap right off the bat. Now Tua goes right into panic mode. And I pause right here. He now has his feet set under him. He's looking good. He's looking clean. Feet set. Tyreek Hill, as they've always said, if you're with him, you're behind him because he's faster than everyone else on this planet, and he's got a lane. This safety is playing single high. Who are you going to cover, Waddle or Tyreek Hill? He actually ends up choosing to cover neither in this play, and it doesn't really matter because of what Tua does. Tua throws a perfect one-hopper across the diamond and blows a touchdown. And to just show how open it is from another angle here, a high snap, but he still gets time to set himself. He rushes his own throw. After the play's over, they're walking towards him. Each one of them is 10 yards away from Tyreek Hill. It's just absolutely horrible, and this is the standard that Tua shows throughout this game. That being said, I don't want to just seem like a Tua hater. When he does get his first read open on a weak arm throw like a 5-yard out, he can own it all day. And that is something that Miami, to their credit, draws up very well. Lots of easy open reads in the beginning, or he just forces the ball to Tyreek Hill and just expects Tyreek to make something happen. But basically their entire offense is a slant pass over the middle or a 5-yard out to the outside or an incomplete pass. That is the passing game of the Miami Dolphins. Here's a play action pass where they try to do something a little different. Again, we're going to show this one a second time. Again, after the play action, to a set, no one really around him. Pretty good pocket here. Open man, open space to throw the ball. Chooses the right read. To his credit, Tua does normally choose the correct read, but he only looks at one, so I don't really know how much credit that is. And he just misses throws that should be hit. I mean, it's just a fundamental fact of this game that happens over and over. And it's just regular. But this is also part of having Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill will create space and opportunity to show this play again. Tyreek Hill comes across, not getting press coverage, top of the route right here. Everyone knows he can run past you this way, so you leave the hole, all this open space, and it's just a basic comeback route. He did this all the time at Kansas City. He's incredibly good at it. It's a good use of a real speed player's skill like this. And, that's mostly an area throw. That's not really even a accuracy throw. It's just kind of put it in the space. And if you look at it, he kind of underthrows him as it is. Now, this is the first true time he gets pressure on him. And it's a delayed pressure. Two people on the blitz here. The tackle obviously blows the play right there. There's no fighting that. But Tua doesn't really feel it. He panics, fumbles. Miami does recover it. It's a wasted drive. Okay, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm just hating on Tua. This game overall just has some bad quarterback play in it. Jones was not very successful going deep in this game much at all. And we look at little touch passes like this that he's just missing. Sometimes when we're spot casting a game like this, it looks like it's just all the quarterback play and we give no love to the defense. I want to particularly call out this defender right here. You're going to watch him. He actually gets turned around twice on this play, but he makes an incredible play on this down and out as he comes across the field and undercuts this route. Again, it's a basic out that New England's been running all day and just made a play on it. Just up and grade for it. So, Miami made some good plays in this. And I'm showing this play here for two reasons. First is that Jones makes the deep ball here. I mean, he makes a good throw. It's getting thrown to up here. But this brings up a bigger pet peeve I have in general with the NFL. This ball does not need to be thrown to the sidelines, which limits the likelihood of it being caught. The safety is saying in the middle of the field. This ball can easily be thrown anywhere in the space here closer to the numbers, and that safety isn't getting to it. Throwing the ball constantly to the sidelines essentially helps the defense because it limits your ability to go after you catch the ball. In this case, it's a jump ball anyway, so it doesn't really matter. As we mentioned earlier, New England kept running the same toss play over and over again, and I wanted to give Miami credit for it in breaking down here and how they actually ultimately ended up winning this play. So just as before, we get a good crackback block right here that effectively sets the edge, and the tackle is pulling around. Now what we're going to see here in the execution correctly is that Miami just doesn't get stopped. This tackle really is 100% mismatched trying to take out a shifty little corner here. The corner is already setting him up. First off, he's already had to fight through a first tackle, but the corner's setting him up, and the tackle essentially plays Olay. When you're pulling a big man to the outside, it should be blowing up a downhill, not trying to tag him on a left to right block, which he has no ability to do. I mean, tackles don't make that play. Okay, I'm going to spot cast on this play because it's really Tyreek Hill being amazing. This is almost shades of Antonio Brown with what he does here on this play. So we get play action after the motion, so people running around. Tua, I want to point out here, once his back foot is set on the snap, it never moves. It effectively is planted like a basketball player pivoting, and he just throws a lob. Like, it's just as lobby as it can be. And Tyreek Hill, boom, Go back to that. Pulling that thing in, one-armed and out. That's something special right there. And then this right here is Tua's absolute best pass of the game. He leads his receiver, puts a little bit of zip on the ball. Waddle catches it. New England tackles themselves, and Waddle's fast. Another thing that happened in this game was Miami's coaching staff trying to show that they were smarter than Belichick. So I just show you this. Look at all this motion that Tyreek Hill does before this play to get absolutely zero Patriots to move. They're not doing anything. He's just tiring himself out. We throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Time to punt. You're not smarter than Belichick. Okay, we're going to break down the New England touchdown. And part of the reason I'm breaking this play down is because the announcer of this game was completely wrong and tried to throw this man under a bus for the inevitable touchdown that happens when it was 100% not his fault. He was actually just doing his job. So here's what's going to happen on this play. We're going to get a little basic flare out walk-in touchdown. Right here, we're going to get a straight sprint. That's going to be the route combination that New England runs. The defense that everyone on Miami is running, except for 28, is a basic have your zone underneath cover two. And his zone is over here, by the way. And then your two safeties over the top for the end zone portion. Basic cover two zone. Nothing really that complicated or complex. But what we see here is that 28 plays man. And when you play man and you don't cover your zone, it's really easy to throw a touchdown to an area of the field that is not covered. And that's exactly what happens. I just want to point this out strictly because of how bad this guy tried throwing Gumble, or Gumble's partner, tried throwing this defensive end in the bus, and it's not his fault at all. Watching it initially, it looks like, oh, why didn't he react? Because it wasn't his zone. He was taking care of his place, doing his job. So at the end of the day, this game wasn't really all that impressive. It was really bad quarterbacking play from both sides. Jones rarely connected on a deep ball. Tua rarely went to his second read. And when he got flustered, it wasn't good. And I have about 13 more highlights to show that, but it felt like I was beating a dead horse. The bottom line is there was not a lot of schematic innovation in this game. It was a very execution-based game where the defense of Miami did their job. They realized that New England was only doing outs, and they really aren't able to separate with their receivers. And at the end of the day, there's no one on New England who can cover Tyreek Hill, and all that Miami really did was force the ball to Tyreek Hill. That was how this game went. That was what it was. There was nothing special schematically, nothing really all that over the top or shocking, but we wanted to let that known because first team that can shut down Tyreek Hill, whether it be because he's injured or they can jam him, will destroy Miami. And flat out, New England does not have the horses to do it. We hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Strategies of Football. We'll be breaking down another game, so stay tuned to our channel. Click like and subscribe and get all of the updates for future games that you may not have been able to watch because they weren't in your market.